Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kay Lachey, and today will not be a vlog. It's actually a different kind of video. This will be actually the second sit down video I've done on this channel. The first video was just to sit down, get to know me when I first started YouTube. So this is like a different type of video. And if you looked at the thumbnail, the title is how to maintain a connection with your grown-up kids. So just to give you some backstory really quick, I have two daughters that's in college. One lives in Houston and my youngest daughter is in Tallahassee. They're both in college. They both graduate in May. My oldest that lives in Houston, she'll be getting a law degree, and my youngest, she'll be getting a bachelor's from FAMU. And I also have a 13-year-old son, but this video is mainly about my two daughters. So again, this is how to maintain a connection with your grown-up kids. So when my daughters were home for Thanksgiving, I think I asked them a few questions, that I need to work on as far as maintaining the relationship with them and also respecting them, because they're adults now. So I'm just going to go over some of those. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm going to be transparent. Some things I'm still working on. Some things I think I've gotten better at. So let's just get right into it. So one of the things that one of my daughters said is more quality time. Now for me, I guess I always think like, okay, when they come home, like, okay, they're grown now, they don't want to spend time with me. So I kind of try to give them, their space respectfully. When they come home, I'm thinking in my mind, okay, they want to hang out with their friends, so I'm just going to let them do their own thing and I'm going to do mine. But it really surprised me when one of my daughters said more quality time. So, I thought about it and I can see how they still need that one-on-one time too, especially quality time. So, I'm sure that they're away from home, and I'm sure they go through things and they may want my, my feedback, my attention, and I'm sure they miss me while they're gone. So quality time, especially as they're getting older and I'm getting older, quality time is so important. Because yeah, we have FaceTime, we can talk on the phone, but actually being able to, I guess, be in their presence, and we can catch up on things that maybe they didn't tell me over the phone. They can also tell me some things they may be going through. And I think it's important that when you spend that quality time, you put your phone down and just focus your attention on spending time and catching up and just kind of see what's going on in their world. So that made me feel really good to know that they still want to spend quality time with me. That made me feel so good because I was in my own head thinking like, oh, they grown, they don't want to spend time with me. So that made me happy. So I think more quality time will allow you to keep that connection as they get older and as I get older. So the next thing they talked about was letting them know how I feel. Now for me, that may be still hard, because I think for me, I think about, okay, they're in school, they're not at home. If I'm going through something, I kind of don't want to call them and burden them with something that's, going on back at home. I feel like it'll probably interfere with them focusing or being able to focus in school. And, I have this thing where, okay, they're going to be worried about me. But I guess for them, I guess letting them know how I'm doing physically, mentally, emotionally, that sort of gives them a peace of mind. Like I'm not, so much leaving them in the dark. And I think for them, that keeps that line of communication, number one, and it also keeps us connected in a sense. So my daughter said, Mom, I think sometimes you don't let us know how you feeling. And she's right. They were right, because sometimes I go through stuff at home and they literally have no idea. Now, because I am their mom, they can probably tell, okay, something off. They may tell, my text may be a little short, or they may hear it in my voice, but actually being honest, and let them know how I'm feeling about things, I think that's important to them as they get older. me being their mom, actually letting them know how I feel. So I think that's an important one to keep us connected. Another thing they talked about was let them know, it's kind of the same thing, let them know what's going on at home. So sometimes, again, to keep them from worrying, I may hide stuff. They may hear about it 3 or 5 months later, but letting them know what's going on at home. Another reason I do that is because they're in school, they're not in the same city, and I feel in my head it's going to kind of worry them in a sense, and they're not going to be focused. So always keeping them informed, letting them know what's going on with my mom, with my sister, maybe with my brother, with their little brother. So basically keeping them in a loop of things. I think it makes them feel connected still, because I'm sure with them both being away in college, I'm sure they miss home as well. So I think it keeps them connected in a sense to let them know how I feel, let them know, keep them informed about what's going on at home. So that's another thing that they told me. The next thing they said is I need to be open about their relationships. Now this one I'm still working on, because I think as parents, we always feel like a person is not good enough. Like, oh, he ain't good enough for you. Like, they can tell me one thing about somebody they may be dating or they may like. They tell me one thing, I'm probably not gonna like the person no more. So now I've learned to I'm still working on it. I'm learning to listen more and be slower to speak, because I'm learning the more I insert my opinion, they kind of shut down and they'll stop telling me things, and I don't want that to happen. So I think for me, it's being more open-minded, respecting how they feel, and just giving people a chance. Everybody deserves a chance. I feel like everybody can change. So I think being more open about their relationships and just kind of letting things play out. I think it's okay for parents to give their opinion about things, but at the same time, we have to allow our kids to sometimes experience things so that they can learn from it. So being open about their relationships and not being so quick to, tell them to leave a person alone, or, oh, I wouldn't take that. Now, it's some situations I will bluntly tell them how I feel, but at the same time, I feel like when we give too much of our opinion, I think it can kind of steer them away from being open. And that's the main thing I like. I like for my daughters to be completely open about, what's going on with them, because if I don't know, I can't help them. And so I think I need to listen more and not be so quick to give my opinion, because especially my youngest daughter, if she's telling me something and I say too much, she's going to completely shut down. Now my oldest daughter, she's a little bit more open, so she basically tells me everything, but my youngest daughter, she's going to completely shut down. And I'm learning as well with my oldest daughter, she's kind of getting to where if I give too much of my opinion and she's not ready to receive it, she kind of stopped telling me stuff. So I think it's important for parents to just kind of be receptive and be open about, new relationships as they try to navigate, through life. And the next one is kind of the same thing. My daughter said I need to be a better listener. For me, and this is not just my relationship with my daughters, but I'm going to stay on topic. Sometimes I have a tendency I can hear somebody talk, but I'm really not listening because I'm waiting to respond. So one of my daughters said I need to be a better listener, and I can't even argue with that, because a lot of times if I'm ready to give my opinion or my feedback, you talking to me, but I'm ready to just respond. So I'm not really taking in and listening and hearing what you're saying. So, with my daughter telling me I need to be a better listener, that kind of really opened it really opened my eyes, and that lets me know that she feels some kind of way, like, okay, she probably feel like ain't no sense in me telling her this, she's not listening. So again, that'll make them shut down and not want to share things with me. So and then one of my daughters, she said, I need to teach them more about me. Like, I think she mean like from a little girl to now. I think she wants to know like a lot about how I guess grew up as a little girl and kind of navigated through life. And I think some things I have not discussed with my daughters. They just kind of maybe heard me talking about it with one of my friends, or they may sense some things, but a lot of things I have not talked about from childhood, maybe things that happened in my 20s, 30s, maybe I think some things I have kept away from them for whatever reason. But you know, with them getting older, I think it's important as a mom for me to share some of my experiences, good and bad, because it may be helpful to them. A lot of things I learned by trial and error. My mom, very good mom. I love my mom. She wasn't like really open to some conversations I probably needed to have, which I'm not putting any blame on her. She was a great mom, but you know, back then some parents were like that. But I always said I wanted to be more open. You know, I want communication to be open with my girls. You know, I want to share things with them. I don't want them to have to learn from the world, or learn some things we do have to learn from experience, but I think some things just takes a simple conversation. And I think my girls, well, I know my girls really value my opinion and what I think about things. So I think it's important that, you know, like they said, I need to be more open and maybe share some of my, especially my bad experiences, you know, because I think it could really help them out. But with them both being, like I said, not in the same city, they're in college, they're trying to navigate life. I'm sure they go through things that I have no idea about, and I'm really proud of them. But I think it's really important as I age and as they, you know, become young women, which they already are, but as they get older, I think it's important that I do things to make them feel comfortable and to let them know that at the end of the day, you can talk to me about anything. And I think I have gotten a little bit more open than I used to be with them, because we have conversations about a lot. They've seen me go through a lot, and I want that line of communication. Especially, I think that's the most important thing, is that we keep an open line of communication. I think that's the most important thing, and to let them know, you know, you can talk to me about anything. But I think as parents, we have to create like a safe environment for our children to be able to talk to us. They have to feel safe. They gotta feel like they're being heard. So yeah, and I want to keep that special bond that we have. Now my oldest daughter, like I said, she's way more open than my youngest daughter. My youngest daughter, I can tell she's getting there. She's growing up. She's about to be 22, and I can tell with her being away at college and she's getting older, I can tell she's kind of coming to her own now, and she's more open, which I really, really like. But like I said, I think it's important that we keep communication open, spend that quality time, be a better listener. And you know, I need to keep them informed about what's going on so they can still feel that closeness. And so yeah, that's all I have for this video. And if you guys have any questions or any tips for me, leave it down in the comment box, and I will see you in my next video. Give me a thumbs up, and I hope you like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.